Today is February 18th. Welcome to Big Book Daily. My name is Rob. I am an alcoholic. It is a thrill, honor, and joy to be here with you today as we journey through the Big Book and the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions. Today we're going to be reading Chapter 11 of the Big Book, A Vision for You, pages 156 through 158. And we're going to be reading Step 7 out of the 12 and 12, the first half of page 71. So with all that, my friends, let's get right to the good stuff. So if you recall from yesterday, we read a really cool recap of the very, very earliest days of AA. Bill meeting Dr. Bob, and Dr. Bob and Bill going to help somebody else. Talking about their first visit to AA number 3, which resulted in AA's first group at Akron, Ohio in 1935. So we're going to continue on, starting at the bottom of page 156 and read up to page 158 today. Here was a prospect, all right, but by the description, none too promising. The use of spiritual principles in such a case was not so well understood as it is now. But one of the friends said, "Put him in a private room. We'll be down." 2 days later, a future fellow of Alcoholics Anonymous stared glassily at the strangers beside his bed. "Who are you fellows? And why this private room? I was always in a ward before." Said one of the visitors, "We're giving you a treatment for alcoholism." Hopelessness was written large on the man's face as he replied, "Oh, but that's no use. Nothing would fix me. I'm a goner. The last 3 times I got drunk on the way home from here. I'm afraid to go out the door. I can't understand it." For an hour, the 2 friends told him about their drinking experiences. Over and over, he would say, That's me. I drink like that." The man in the bed was told of the acute poisoning from which he suffered, how it deteriorates the body of an alcoholic and warps his mind. There was much talk about the mental state preceding the first drink. "Yes, that's me," said the sick man. "The very image. You fellas know your stuff all right, but I don't see what good it'll do. You fellas are somebody. I was once, but I'm nobody now. From what you tell me, I know more than ever that I can't stop." At this, both the visitors burst into a laugh. Said the future fellow anonymous, "Damn little to laugh about that I can see." The 2 friends spoke of their spiritual experience and told them about the course of action that they carried out. He interrupted, "I used to be strong for the church, but that won't fix it. I've prayed to God on hangover mornings and sworn that I'd never touch another drop. But by 9 o'clock, I'd be boiled as an owl." Next day found the prospect more receptive. He'd been thinking it over. "Maybe you're right," he said. "God ought to be able to do anything." Then he added, "He sure didn't do much for me when I was trying to fight this booze racket alone." And on the 3rd day, the lawyer gave his life to the care and direction of his Creator. And he said that he was perfectly willing to do anything necessary. His wife came scarcely daring to be hopeful, though she thought that she saw something different about her husband already. He had begun to have a spiritual experience. That afternoon, he put on his clothes and walked from the hospital a free man. He entered a political campaign, making speeches, frequenting men's gatherings of all sorts, often staying up all night. He lost the race by only a narrow margin, but he'd found God. And in finding God, he found himself. That was June 1935. He never drank again. He too has become a respected and useful member of his community. He has helped other men recover, and is a power in the church from which he was long absent. So you see, there were 3 alcoholics in that town who now felt that they had to give to others what they had found or be sunk. After several failures to find others, a 4th turned up. He came through an acquaintance who had heard the good news. He proved to be a devil-may-care young fellow whose parents could not make out whether he wanted to stop drinking or not. They were deeply religious people, much shocked by their son's refusal to have anything to do with the church. All right, so we will definitely come back to that in just a minute, guys. Great stuff there as always. And we'll jump now into the 12 and 12. So we are on Page 71 of Step 7. And just to recap the step itself, humbly asked him to remove our shortcomings. Page 71. The theory seems to be that once everybody's primary instincts are satisfied, there won't be much left to quarrel about. The world will then turn happy and be free to concentrate on culture and character. Solely by their own intelligence and labor, men will have shaped their own destiny. Certainly no alcoholic, and surely no member of AA, wants to deprecate material achievement. Nor do we enter into a debate with many who still so passionately cling to the belief that to satisfy our basic natural desires is the main object of life. But we are sure that no class of people in the world ever made a worse mess of trying to live by this formula than alcoholics. For thousands of years, we've been demanding more than our share of security, prestige, and romance. When we seemed to be succeeding, we drank to dream still greater dreams. And when we were frustrated, even in part, we drank for oblivion. Never was there enough of what we thought we wanted. Oh man, buddy, I can agree with that line. Never was there enough of what we thought we wanted. My whole day would oftentimes revolve around that drink. You know, that was the one thing that I wanted to do. Instead of spending time with my family or anything else, it was to drink. And then when I would drink, it was never as amazing as I hoped it would be. I started chasing a feeling, and it would take more and more alcohol to get that same feeling of whatever it was I was looking for. But it dominated my life, and afterwards I just felt more guilty for drinking and doing the things I did while drinking. So never was there enough of what I thought I wanted. You know, I just would feel emptier afterwards. And going back to the big book real quick, I can certainly relate to the third member of Alcoholics Anonymous. When Dr. Bob and Bill come up to him in the hospital and they say, hey, they share their experience, strength, and hope. And they talk about a spiritual, what do they say here? A spiritual experience and a program or a course of action that they took. I can relate. When I started hearing the experience, strength, and hope from others, fellow alcoholics, it blew my mind how quickly I could relate to some of the things that they said. How they thought about alcohol, how they hid bottles, how they thought they were deceiving everybody else, how self-centered they were, some of the dumb decisions they made while drinking. And I thought to myself, holy cow, that's me. Just like our third member here, he thought that. That's me. Oh my goodness, you guys know what you're talking about. I think like that. And then finally I can relate to when he says, I've prayed to God on hangover mornings and sworn that I never touch another drop, but by 9 o'clock, I'd be boiled as an owl. I cannot tell you how many times I woke up, got down on my knees, and I said, God, please help. I don't want to drink today. And sure enough, by 8 o'clock in the morning, I'd already be rationalizing. Oh, well, this will be the last day. You know what? We'll make this the last hurrah. How many last hurrahs have I had? Oh, Lord, there's no telling. Or you know what? You're just depressed. It's not the alcohol that's the problem. Just work on, your attitude. But here, I would be rationalizing the drink. And then when I would drink, I would make more selfish, very destructive decisions. And then afterwards, I would go, what happened? Why did I do this again? The only word I can say to describe it was insanity. So finally, on the third day, this third member here, he has had what has begun to be a spiritual experience. It says here, on the third day, the lawyer gave his life to the care and direction of his Creator. And he was perfectly willing to do anything necessary. What I find beautiful about that is, if I do my part, if I just do my part, pray and try to do what these 12 suggestions suggest that I do. And these 12 suggestions, the reason they're so important to me is I think they give me a stronger relationship with my higher power. And it helped me to be a better person, a better honest, humble, easygoing person. If I do my part and I turn my life and my will over to the care and direction of God as I understand Him, He does so much more. And He removes all these defects of mine daily, that I can live a better life. And you don't realize at the time. Most of the time, people around you realize it. And it's quite a blessing. But anyways, my friends, that's enough rambling for me for one day. Hope you all have a great day, and I am looking forward to seeing you back here tomorrow.